What are the not so fun parts of sex that no one talks about? When the dong slips out. When you overheat. Sweat dripping on you. Finding an after sex towel. Uties. Strained muscles. Blowjobs with severe cotton mouth. A bed that makes more noise than the person you're having sex with. Having to stop abruptly because your boyfriend accidentally slapped his nuts hard when he tried to slap your ass. I'm whacking up. To ash and dust. I wipe my ass. And I slap my nuts. Edit. Okay, this might get on our award speech edits, but. Full stop. Full stop. EXCUCE me. But thank you. Anon. Midlife. My wife recently had a hysterectomy and her sex drive is skyrocketing while mine is beginning to taper. And it sucks. A lot. She's the only woman in the world. She's beautiful. She's SY. She gets me going. But some nights I just don't have it in me. When you're always the person to initiate sex. So you all are really gonna make me say it? Okay. Spreading the labia. And when they don't. And everything isn't wet yet and they try to jam it in and the labia goes along for a very dry painful ride. Oof. When he gets up to get you a towel. And you hear his car start and he pulls out of the driveway. How to deal with a SZUL partner with low self-esteem. No matter how hard you try you can't make them feel SY. Then you call into question your own worth as a partner. Is it my fault? What am I doing wrong? Leading to a eventual breakup that leaves you with partial low self-esteem. Hard to bounce back from. Edit. Whoa. I am overwhelmed with the response to my comment. I had a moment of clarity and typed straight from heart. I've read every comment and can see that we all have so much love to give still. Let's all make a vow to cast away our esteem issues as best we can. Live life. And love to our fullest potential. I'm on Reddit to look at other people's problems. Not other people so perfectly explaining my problem. Edit. Whoa. My first gold thanks kind stranger. Too bad it was for a depressing personal comment. Fishing out the pube from your mouth after going down on someone. I'm late. For what? I'm late. For what? The fart noises that your bodies make when you're doing it. The amount of pain when she's not wet. Doesn't matter if you aren't big. Unlubed holes will feel a bit coarse and painful to her. Always do the damn foreplay. If you're like me, you sweat fairly easily. So being on top means I'm dripping off my face and usually it landing in or around my girlfriend's eyes and mouth. We've often talked about a sweet blend. But I'm not sure if it would increase passion or cause laughter. I can already imagine it come poke me. I'm horny oh. I'll grab the headband and be right in. P. Get it? Never mind. Put the sweetband on in the morning when you wake up and don't take it off until after you have had sex. If you two are going somewhere together she will have sex with you just so you won't wear the stupid sweetband. Cramp. Taking a little too long to finish and then feeling embarrassed, and the more you think about it the harder it is. Dealing with birth control pill side effects. After doing it with a condom on. The autozone smell. Getting fingered by someone who did not cut their fingernails. Or someone who just cut their fingernails. The shame of getting tired out before you have come. Having to push pets away that won't get off the bed and just sit there staring at you. Cough cramps. Dear God. Oh, and when she bounces a little too hard on top and you slip out and get crushed. Hey, thanks. Gold. Well. If you are doing it straight Jesuit. Then at some point you may bang her up to the top of the bed headboard. Then you might have to stop and scoot back down to begin the banging process again. Like when your washing machine gets an uneven load and walks across the laundry room. I mean. It could just be me. Kind of like those old typewriters where you had to slide them back to the starting position once you heard the ding. trying to gracefully avoid touching other bodily areas with the butt finger. Deflating her and putting her back in the box afterwards with tears of loneliness stinging your eyes. When the other person isn't into it in the mood but doesn't just say it. Hitting the cervix is a special kind of hell. Stabby feeling that's deeply unsatisfying. As a man, I think Lil Wayne said it best. When I come to my senses. The mindset before and after is so different. I'm like a super hentai dog before and after. I'm like a monocle wearing Puritan. Post nut clarity. The waddle to the bathroom afterwards with one hand cupped over your vag. Apparently, there's this thing where you come in your pants before the appetizer even begins. How do I know? Well, this friend told me it totally happened to him, so don't judge him. I think this might be my kink though. I love getting a guy or sitter worked up. I've never done it on purpose. But if it happens, I find it super hot. SX farts. I don't say anything because she's an absolute goddess and I'm lucky to be hooking up with her, but man, I spread those cheeks and feel it breeze past my fingers. The uncomfortable positions that you have to be like, okay stop, I gotta move. Setting up and breaking down. Restraints and toys that need to be taken out and put away. Inflating, deflating your partner. The cold wet spot on the bed. Lying there waiting for your other half to come with the tissues. When you wake up next to someone you hadn't had sex with. The phenomenon is called arousal non-concordance. Fact check me. Basically, any situation in which your body isn't responding the way you feel. E.g. can't get hard wet even though you're turned on. Can't orgasm even though the sex is going great. Etc. This goes the other way too. Getting physically aroused by things that mentally or emotionally turn you off. The break in between. Especially if it's your first time as a couple. Or one night stand or FWB, etc. Finding a person to have sex with is not so fun. No. That's easy. Finding someone you want to have sex with is typically a lot harder. Someone being painfully rough, unless you're into that. The smell afterwards. Sometimes the sweat makes the bed wet. Either partner being unwashed. The person on top panting and you breathing the same air. The person on top panting and you breathing the same air. Maybe it's gross, but I think that's extremely intimate. Unless they have bad breath. When you're in the middle of it and realize you have to pee. So the rest of the time you're just kinda focused on that. The cons of shower sex. The shower is better used for foreplay rather than sex. If you're not in shape, sex is work. If you are in shape, sex is work. Shower sex actually kinda sucks. Water is not lube. Nowhere is comfortable. Hot water runs out. Weird. I must have a good water heater. Haven't ever had an issue with the hot water lasting the full 2 minutes. I noticed this comment got quite a few upvotes. Which I assume is because people must be really impressed by my water heater. If anyone wants specs. It's a Bradford White model M140 T6N12. With 40 gallons capacity. It's not very often that anyone is impressed by the size of anything of mine. So this is pretty neat. If doing an L, then expect poop residue of some sort. Then the wet spots on the bed from the aftermath. Obligatory edit. Did an L with a hookup many years ago. Ended up with a pretty significant skid mark on the bed after. She was mortified. Like beside herself mortified. Apologizing up and down. I was like, look. I'm the one who put my dick up your ass. I expected a little collateral damage. Taking off daily pads before your partner gets to your panties. No one discussed that, but this is a pain in the ass. We share stories with my friends about the best and weirdest ways we threw our daily pads right before having sex. Do you really wear liners every day? No judgment. How about TFW, your cock comes all the way out in the current motion? and your brain stretches the following half second into eternity before the next damaging painful blow comes if you're not perfectly lined up to go straight back in. Edit. Thank you kind stranger for the silver. This blew up while I slept. My most upvoted post has to be about one of the most painful things I've ever experienced. I will admit, however, that for as much pain as I've gone through with this, I think I can only recall one time where she exhibited any pain and I just thought it was a sympathy thing at the time. I genuinely didn't think about how much this could hurt you ladies out there. For this I genuinely apologize. The I am holding in my fart is not to ruin the mood moments. Seeing me without clothes on. Half the positions are absurdly uncomfortable, so you often end up on one of the three basics because you'd rather enjoy than be a iron gymnast. My girlfriend doesn't seem to be a fan of that moment afterwards when gravity finally takes over and her gift from me to her comes out. She kinda freezes like a toddler pooping in their diaper while standing. I think it hilarious. She does not. Sometimes when hooking up you find someone that is trying to have sex with some fantasy in their head, instead of the person they're with. You'll be making out with this person or sucking their dick and they'll say something like, yeah? You like that, you sick? And it's a complete turn off because whatever scene they're trying to play out was not discussed nor talked about at all beforehand. And it's usually really awkward when they start randomly trying to play out that you're some creep taking advantage of them. Also, if you're having butt sex, the smells, and possibly running into something. A third one is people putting their fingers in places and not washing their hands after. And then they're just walking around touching things. The cleanup. Semen is such a bitch to wash away. Lube is a pain in the ass to clean up. The dog never wants to move from its spot on the bed. Long hair getting in the other person's eyes. Choking on pubes. Never being able to get the pube out of the back of your throat. Semen or lube between your butt cheeks. Poop on butt toys. Accidentally forgetting which finger was in whose butts. Eating someone out, ass or puss, and getting toilet paper in your mouth. Getting rug burn on your PSSY from a guy who has harsh stubble. Being able to feel when a girl has to if you finger her. I will update when I think of more. Update. Being able to feel poop in someone's asshole when you finger it. Update 2. Forgetting to wash your hands after fingering a girl's PSSY and then smelling vag later in the day when you're eating. Having someone come in your ass and farting poopages for hours after. Use cold water to wash cum off. It's protein based, so hot water makes it stickier and harder to wash away. Loudly farting out a load of cum in the public college dorm bathroom after a nice round of an L. I never considered how disgusting it would actually sound. The girl in the next stall probably thought I had explosive diarrhea. The fact that no one wants to do it with me. When you do it wrong, it results in 18 years of financial problems. The feeling of emptiness after each new partner that you know isn't quite what you're looking for. But you settle less sorely and then continue the relationship uncommitted while the already dwindling emotions slowly dissolve. If you're doing it doggy style and he accidentally ends up in the wrong hole, it's not just a quick oopsie. If you didn't prepare for an L penetration beforehand, then it's like being punched in the arsehole by Wolverine. Immense pain and instant crying. Immediate mood killer. If you don't have good hygiene and don't keep your junk clean, get used to UTIs. Edit. It's disgusting and pathetic how many of you think joking about our pay is okay. It's sad how many of you think just because it's never happened to you doesn't mean it happens. Illegal lane change. Edit. I can't believe y'all spent money on me. Having to use erectile dysfunction meds. I've been taking them for 4 years now. I'm 32 now, and although they work great and the actual sex is much better, there isn't any spontaneous intimacy anymore because I know it's gonna end up in disappointment. Alizade wrote a great description of married sex, but on top of that, planning at least an hour before, preferably more, about intending to woo her. This means reading all the signs and determining whether she could be into it or not. Taking the pill and later realizing I misinterpreted the signs and she actually isn't in the mood is really depressing because at this point my body feels like a pressure chamber and I'm in no mood to jerk off. Also, I don't want to tell her about it so she wouldn't feel obliged to have sex. Because it's not much fun if she's not in the mood. The moment when your rhythms just barely get off and you have to start over. When you're about to someone you barely know and your dick can't get hard because you're nervous. Ward. I wouldn't know. I'm a redditor. Babies. My boyfriend and I both have long hair so one of us always has the other's hair in our face. When he wakes you up humping your butt for over an hour while you try to keep sleeping. I tear during sex. Edit. To answer everyone's questions. I don't use lube outside of spit and vaginal fluid. Also I don't own a toy but will consider getting one. I don't care too much for sex due to a past bad experience but I appreciate the bond with my boyfriend. Whoa. Like tear? Or tear? Jesus. So many. Condoms. Necessary. But they sure take a lot of the fun and spontaneity of out things. Pregnancy. When nobody wants one. Steez PSSY farts, queefs. Although not a big deal when you're experienced enough to have a sense of humor about it. Jealousy, coercion, sleeping in the wet spot. Putting your elbow on your partner's long hair. And other clumsiness as I talk that isn't for the other person. Finding out that one of you has a kink that the other person is grossed out by. The list is endless. Cleaning up the tantrum. Not sure how common for anyone else but for me. Having really good sex but as soon as you're done, you slowly start coming down and the emotional whiplash can send you into a mild depression. Which then leads to this feeling of emptiness. You don't regret having sex but suddenly you just feel off. The baby 9 months later. Holding in a painful. What feels like the most powerful and a record-setting fart your body has ever produced. Hiding the body. Hole up. Her angry father showing up. I wanted to put it in my wife's butt. She said she would if I could put my vibrator up yours. I said okay. And I never asked for an L ever. Ever. Having your man's cum drip out of you for hours. Taking her back to her middle school afterwards. Arca said comments. Use a towel you heathens and do laundry regularly to keep that towel clean. So I guess laundry. That part when you go to change positions without talking cause you don't want to ruin the energy. And then one of you puts your leg where the other person was going to. So you go to move. But so do they. And you do that thing where both people are trying to let the other person go through the door first and it's weird and sorta awkward. Only you're both naked. Sweaty. And suddenly both very aware that how your body is positioned makes your stomach rolls hang out. Hemorrhoids. When you're going at it from behind. Look down. And it looks like your partner swallowed a balloon animal and is passing it while you have sex. I mean, we all get them. I just was not prepared for that the first time. That's a prolapsed anus. Needing to go wash up if you weren't expecting a SI encounter. Honey, I would love some morning sex. I just have to go splash some chilly water on my genitals. After you come. And you realize you're just a slave to your urges. Oh, the devil's laughter rings loud then in your ears, boys. It's weird but you all know it's accurate. You withdraw. You don't want to cuddle. You roll to the other side of the bed. I speak for both SSs when I say getting a surprise finger in the bum. For an L. Especially for gays. Air pockets in the rectum can build up and when he pulls out, the bottom will often fart to release the pressure that has been built up. It's embarrassing and no one talks about it. Also, again for gays and especially bottoms, the first couple of times are, for one, painful but after a while the chafing will itch like hell. Especially if he did it bareback and came. The learning process of sex toys. My wife and I tried anal beads the other day and it was a complete disaster. She yanked them out like she was starting a lawnmower. I mean, what? Well, did she fire up on first try? Having to explain how the dog got into the peanut butter again. The part when you realize you could have spent the time having sex instead watching SpongeBob and have a midlife crisis right there. Don't have sex with pets in the room. Cats like to watch. Dogs just want to play too. The after mess. Like, when your boyfriend drips on the bed and you aren't paying attention and you roll over onto a cold spot of cum. Or if you go to the restroom afterwards, how goopy a vagina can get. Especially if you use lube, like on top of normal bodily juices. Not over application of it. Also, when all the semen lube moisture leaks down towards your butthole and you go to the restroom and it's like you turn into a cannon. And when you get hair in your mouth that gets stuck on the back of your tongue and you have to spend 15 minutes gagging it out. The cat keeps jumping up on the bed and laying on your feet or crawling up your back. Getting a wine cramp in your ass. Or leg. Or foot and having to stop everything. Coming on her face. And in the moment you're just like, holy, this is so hot. And you just plaster her. And then you're sitting there limp-dicked. Immediately ashamed of your depravity. And on top of it there's this filthy woman we have to get cleaned up. And then I probably have to kiss her. And she's not even that into facials anyway. So it ends up just generally disappointing. That's why I prefer just coming inside. That way if there's a mess I don't even have to worry about it. Unless it turns into a child. I lead what I like to call a high risk high reward lifestyle. As a lesbian. When Chris Hansen shows up just before. Really surprised nobody has said this. Apparently something like between 70 and 90% of women are unable to achieve orgasm with penetration alone. It's not the end of my sex life and I'm certainly not above just being there for her, but it's pretty disillusioning sad to find out you likely won't get to enjoy it together. Dude. You find out what she likes and what you like and figure out how to do most of that during your time together. If it's important to you to try to have a simultaneous orgasm, you can try that. If she gets most of the way there before you start the penis and vagina stuff, it's way more likely. But everybody is different. And different on different days. So your mileage may vary widely. Best thing to do is communicate and keep your sense of humor and an open mind. Personally, I think simultaneous orgasm ain't all that. When he gets there he wants to stop moving and enjoy the feeling. When I get there, I want to move more. Better for us to take turns. When she riding you and your dick pops out and she almost snaps it in half. Having to make snacks and drinks for your wife and her boyfriends. When girls think we can just turn our penises on in seconds without any foreplay and pull the what? Am I not attractive? Apparently girls can get bad ideas from PRN. 2. The chaffing. When your penis gets so excited that it detaches itself from your body and shoots away like a rocket. Never to be seen again. That means you consumed gluten. Cleaning the butt plug. After you're done. Whenever it's been a while since the last time and you realize two things. 1. How much work sex is. And 2. If you have foreskin. Wash your dick correctly. I hooked up with an uncut dude yesterday and never in my life would I have ever thought I would know the taste of the smell of cheese dick. A young flesh football flies out of your lady's box 9 months later. Catching HIV despite using a condom. Because some dumb decided to lie about having HIV. The fact that as a guy, if it doesn't go well, you take responsibility for it and feel like. And if it was a one night stand, that sucks even worse. TMW, the condom broke and you think at the same time. 1. Could she get pregnant just with that? 2. Do I have another condom? 2. 1. If I don't, do I risk doing it raw? 3. What about STDs? Been married 15 years. Have had 3 kids. My wife is the only girl I've ever even held hands with. Neither of us have experienced the need to spice things up folks talk about. It's always amazing. Not to be cheesy, but we love the hell out of each other, and that seems to be the key factor there. So, nothing. It's never not been the best damn thing ever. When your dick's not big enough and it keeps coming out. It's not necessarily the size but the angle and position. Just for your information. That's what superglue is for. Edit. To those saying try other condoms or different sizes. Or even to pull out immediately after. At least for me. I've tried that. All of that. Sometimes it's just dry after sex and snags. Condom size doesn't seem to be the problem. As I doubt every partner I've had has picked the wrong size and left me with a gift. Lol. Thanks for the advice though. Maybe not so fun as something that dudes don't think about when using condoms. It's polite to grip the base of the condom after ejaculation and pulling out. So you don't end up leaving the condom inside your partner. Condoms move around on dicks. And if you don't police that when you pull out, you risk spilling your goods inside anyway. For a woman, you might as well have not worn a condom. Because now you've put them at risk of pregnancy. When the black guy keeps eyeing your wife when you told him to stop like 3 times. Found the 4chan user. The mythical STD possibilities. When the guy misjudges the length of his dick and accidentally pulls all the way out while trying to ram you, but it hits your taint and feels like he's trying to make you a new butthole.